Okay, this is Carson's speech. From being in the hospital at 3 weeks old while Izzy was being born, to running around in the rain in just our diapers, to doing a duo together in ridiculous costumes with a crazy amount of blush, there are so many happy memories I could tell you. All throughout the 16 years we were basically raised as sisters. Never in a million years did I think that I would be writing this or talking in front of a crowd of people. She was supposed to see 17. We were supposed to graduate together, and most of all, we were supposed to laugh together so many more times than we did. But my favorite memory was when we would go somewhere, even if it was just a 5-minute drive. There was always that one song we would put on. Of course, that song just happened to be Baby by Justin Bieber, and oh boy did she know the entire rap part. But it probably helped that we'd known that whole song by heart since we were 8-year-old girls singing it on the swings. We would sing our hearts out to that Justin Bieber song that was once popular a while ago, but not anymore. Izzy was the type of person that would be nice to everyone around her. She would try her best to fix a problem with somebody she cared about so there wasn't any resentment between them. So I realized that, like Izzy, I need to forgive and forget. The one thing that I've learned from all of this hurt and trauma is that no matter what the reason is, don't end your friendships over something so worthless when there are so many bigger things you can focus on. On Sunday, with the passing of Izzy and the news of Serenity's family still being fresh on my mind, I had a friend reach out. I remember being on the phone with Abby when I got the text from a friend, and then telling my mom that I was so upset that people who weren't my friends anymore or didn't want to be my friends were now reaching out to find out what happened, whether it was out of pure curiosity or just because they simply cared. I wasn't just upset, I was angry that why now, of all times, did they feel like they needed to reach out to me and mend things in our relationship that happened months ago. This was the last thing on my mind. I finally realized that we just needed to talk things through. I hadn't talked to her in a few months, and we both realized that the reason our friendship ended wasn't even a valid reason not to be friends. It shouldn't have taken a loss in the community to make you realize that some of your friends and family are your strongest support system. Overcome your differences with your friends during an argument because we aren't always guaranteed tomorrow.
Now, Sydney and Orange County.
I remember the first time I saw Izzy. I had just moved to Texas, and I was at a Girl Scout party. I remember this skinny girl with long black hair and the thickest glasses I had ever seen. She was laughing and talking and having a good time, and I thought to myself, that would be a fun girl to know. But I didn't meet her. I was in a different troop. The troop I was in didn't work out, so we started looking. I went to the Inez troop, and there she was. We became friends immediately, along with Carson and Cheyenne. We got in trouble that very first day. As I got to know her, I realized she was guarded and closed off, except to her friends. She didn't care about what other people thought. She was herself, and that was all that mattered. She was so awkward around people, but it didn't seem to bother her. She was quick to laugh, especially at herself. I remember one time, she fell and tripped on the ground, and she was the first to laugh. She laughed so hard she couldn't get up. The next few years, we did many cookie booths together. The troop sold enough cookies to pay for a trip to New York and Washington, D.C. We had a great time. We saw a Broadway play, we went to the Empire State Building, and we saw the Statue of Liberty. On the train ride from New York to D.C., Izzy started talking to these two older ladies. We talked and laughed and had a great time. We took pictures in front of the White House, and I remember Izzy telling a joke. I don't remember what it was, but I know it was funny. One trip we took to Corpus Christi. We got up super early to see the turtle release at the Gulf Shore. I remember how mad she was when they canceled that morning. I remember how much she loved animals, and every time she saw one, she would name it, even if it was not hers and she would never see it again. There are many pictures of these things, but the best pictures are in my head, in my memories. It hurts me that I will not make any more memories, no more trips, no more Izzy laughter. That chapter has closed, but it has left a mark on me. Izzy, I remember you and always will.
Elizabeth Diane Drain, also known as Izzy, was an amazingly beautiful and talented person. I've known Izzy since we danced together in kindergarten. After dance, we went to different schools, and I didn't think I was ever going to see her again, until I moved to industrial junior high school my 6th grade year. We didn't have many classes together, and we didn't have lunch together, so the only time that I ever really saw her was when I was with Carson. I soon joined Girl Scouts with Izzy, Carson, Sydney, and Cheyenne. After that, we were all inseparable. We all did everything together. Some of our favorite things included watching Riverdale, and that's about it. We went on various camping trips, and we did a lot of booths together, and we had many sleepovers. My favorite memory with Izzy that I would like to share this morning was when we went to my first ever camping trip at Camp Moritz. Of course, everyone else had already been there before. Our parents and leaders told us that we could have a spot in the campsite all to ourselves away from the adults. Now, I didn't know a whole lot about camping, but I thought that since we were on a trip with the Girl Scouts, there would be no wild animals or creatures that would come and get us in the night. But boy, was I wrong. That night, we were going to the showers and we saw 2 humongous snakes. And of course, through their own nature, Izzy and Cheyenne just had to name them. The bigger one was Billy and the smaller one was Bob. But the snakes weren't even the worst part of that camping trip. When we were going to sleep, we were all in the tent. We started hearing really weird noises that sounded like monkeys, but they obviously weren't monkeys. And we called them seagulls for some reason, and I don't remember why. I was super freaked out, and I remember that Izzy woke me up in the middle of the night, which I don't really know what time it was because we couldn't have our phones. But I woke Carson up because I wanted her to go with us. But if you know Carson, you know that she wasn't waking up for anyone at any time. So me and Izzy ventured off into the darkness alone. We made it to the bathroom safely, but when we were walking back, we started hearing noises. I will remind you that we were 6th grade girls. We were so scared. The noises stopped, so we kept on walking. But on our way back to the tent, we saw our little copperhead friends, Billy and Bob. Izzy got so scared and ran away, and she literally left me there alone to die. She came back after our little friends went back. Me and Izzy made that story so much worse than it actually was, and to be honest, I really think that this is the first time that I have ever admitted to the story being fake. We told them that there were possums and raccoons chasing us and snakes everywhere. That camping trip was the first time that me and Izzy ever really got to bond. Izzy has always cared about animals. She once tried to befriend some raccoons and possums. Helping animals was her passion, and at times I thought that she would even trade me in for a stray cat if she could. That's just who she was. After we got to high school, we all kind of split. That's something that I still really regret. We still got to see each other at Girl Scouts, but we stopped hanging out as much as we used to. The one thing that I wish I could have more than anything in this world is just one more camp out with Izzy. She was a kind, sweet, gentle person that I was honored enough to know. And we will forever miss her. We had so many memories that we will keep cherished in our hearts. To Lori and Alex, I want you to know that no matter what, Izzy will always be with us and watching over us. It's not easy, and although I'm not completely sure what you're going through, just know that we're all here for you. I found this quote online last night, and I thought it was really, really fitting. It says, "Don't push away the sadness, but don't stay in the darkness either. Shine God's light on your pain so he can put your pieces together in a new, beautiful way." We love you so much, Izzy, and no matter what, we will keep and cherish all of the memories we have with you. And I know that you were looking down on us last night, laughing so hard at Sydney when she ran into the ditch. We all wish you were there with us. Thank you all for giving me the time to speak this morning.
Good morning. As some of y'all may know, my name is Cheyenne Parks. I honestly didn't know how to start this, nor had no idea what to write about. I've known Izzy since before the 1st grade, before we started our journey as Girl Scouts together. But Girl Scouts was not what brought us together. It was actually our brothers, as crazy as that sounds. Izzy's brothers, along with mine and Carson's brothers, were in Boy Scouts together. So naturally, we were bonded because of that. Us four, me, Izzy, Carson, and Maddie, were all took dance together since we were about 3 years old. I didn't know Izzy through school, so I can't really relate to everyone else here. So that's pretty much how I knew who she was. We have done countless activities, campouts, badge work, meetings together, way too many to remember. So with that said, I'm just going to tell you some of the more memorable things. So Izzy, Carson, and I's first step to our road to gold was getting our bronze award, which is basically a really big community service project. We decided we wanted to give back and help some kids that come from bad places to make them feel a little more safe. So we collected a ton of stuffed animals, because who doesn't love stuffed animals? Looking back on it now, I know why we enjoyed this project so much. As most of you know, Izzy had a heart condition. And I know, from having a heart condition myself, that after surgery, you wake up literally surrounded by stuffed animals. It gives you a sense of comfort and lets you know you always have something to hold on to when you get scared. So that's why we also gave some to the fire department. So if and when they ever rescued a child, they could give them one. Our next big project on our road to gold was to earn our silver award. By this time, Sydney had been in our troop for a couple of years, so we all worked together to accomplish it. It was definitely a longer process and much more than the bronze, but we definitely had fun helping each other with our parts of it. I'm not gonna lie, our moms did have to brag us with our trip to New York City. A lot. New York was so much fun, so the hard work definitely paid off. One of Izzy and mine's favorite memory was, it sounds really silly and stupid, but it made our trip 10 times better. It was seeing this huge subway rat, which was probably the most exciting thing that happened. Yesterday I was talking with one of my teachers, and she kept telling me that it's not going to be easy getting up here and giving this speech, and I totally agree. The other day, exactly a week before, Izzy and her family left for their cruise. She was helping me on my gold project. I had not seen her in a while since then, and I was so glad and thankful that I did. Afterwards, I was thinking, I cannot wait to help Izzy on hers and see it come to life. I can tell she was so eager to get started, but now all I want is to finish it for her and hope she approves. It's not really the ideal time to hear that one of your closest friends had passed away at 2 a.m. after an early morning and long day of competing, but that's how I found out. My mom wanted to tell me before I saw anything the next morning. I was so in disbelief that all I could say was, "Mom, she was just fine the other day," which made me realize it can happen just like that. And as I could not, and that night, as extremely tired as I was, I couldn't even go to sleep. Before I end, here's to Izzy's parents and family. She was so kind, smart, beautiful, selfless, shy, very shy, strong, and the most hardworking young soul I've ever met. To Izzy, I know you probably don't want us to be sad and rather be playing with all the animals up there than listen to us, but I'm so glad you have been part of my life. Even though you were very shy and soft-spoken most of the time, you never failed to make us laugh and help when needed. The other day, I got asked by one of my teachers if Izzy's parents knew, and that's why they went on this trip. Why now? Why did they take it? And all that came to mind was, it was God's plan. Only He knows. Which brings me to sharing 2 Bible verses. The first one is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's how Izzy lived. She believed that God would give her her strength to get through whatever life threw at her. The second one is my favorite, and it's just so perfect. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Not to harm you. That line is so powerful, which just makes me think and realize that Izzy is now in a better place and is not hurting. So Izzy, I know Your road to gold looks different from most, and I hope you approve the finished product of your project. But you are now on your own roads of gold, walking and playing with all the animals.
Okay, Lexi Sappington is Izzy's best friend, and she's asked me to present this speech on her behalf. I met Izzy in 4th grade. She just transferred to East and didn't know anyone. It took her some time, but eventually she made a few friends, and I became one of them. We weren't super close yet, but as the time went on, she became my best friend. When junior high came, we were put in lots of classes together, and it really was tons of fun. We had little mini competitions over random things. One of the first times I saw her without her glasses was an amazing day. That day led me to giving her the name Eliza. That was always my nickname for her. She was the person I always came to with issues I had. When things were really rough, she was the first person I asked for help, and she always did, even if it was just by being there in general. Soon enough, high school came, and we had lots more responsibilities to learn. And sure enough, when we were getting used to things, spring break hit, and we all had to stay home for months. After a while, she was the first person I talked to, and we would chat throughout the break. The last 2 years have been a blur, but all throughout it, she remained the closest person I know. We had many great times together, and I know how much pain she had gone through. We would have deep conversations about her and what she was going through. She helped me find so many things that I love and enjoy. Elizabeth was the best thing that ever happened to me and so many others. She always left me with a smile, and everyone else as well. I will always miss her. And when I join you up there, I'm going to give you the biggest hug I have in me. I love you, Elizabeth.
Will Addison and Kyla please come forward?
So, Addison Malik and Kyla Jimenez are going to sing an arrangement that they wrote themselves. It contains 3 of her most favorite songs, Don't Stop Believing and Sweet Caroline, which we jammed anytime we went anywhere in the car with Izzy, and Titanium. Now this was her favorite song because she had an ongoing joke that she was made of titanium. And that's why it was her favorite song.
singing and the angels choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you've arrived. I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing and the angels cry, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you've arrived, since you arrived.
Thank you, Addison and Carmen.
Such a privilege to have that little girl in class. And you know, I'm sure you know how much she meant to all of us. But to be a teacher and to have students like Elizabeth that feed you, her warmth, her joy, and her understanding, and I always called her my little science project. But anyway, last year's group, we had a large class, and several of them, we listed their names, but they are off in college. But we became so bonded, and we had so much fun with Elizabeth, with her warmth, her joy, her love. And so this is one of her projects that she intended to come back and finish before the end of the year. And it was a quilt in progress. And you're going to find some little marks on the back of it because she was trying to figure out how she wanted to design the quilting part. So you enjoy and know how much she meant to all of us.
The family would like to share service information with you guys. So visitation will be at Grace Funeral Home from 6 to 8 this coming Friday on March